Welcome back, boys and girls. In this video, I want to provide an update of my innovative Marine 170. I have a lot of stuff I want to get done in this tank. Now that it's been set up for about 5 months, there's a lot of things that need to be tweaked or moved, corals grown into each other, etc. But I don't have a whole lot of time to do all that stuff. But in this video, I'm going to show you how the tank is doing, a few things I need to do. And again, since I don't have a lot of time to edit, it's going to be short, sweet, and pretty simple. So this rainbow Monty has to go. It's starting to grow up this PC rainbow here. It's starting to encroach this coral here. I already killed it back on the King Fiji, and now it's coming down here. I'm going to cover this whole colony with epoxy putty, and I might glue in some shelf rock pieces to kind of make the rock work a little nicer and to kind of cover that epoxy. So what I'm going to have to do is pull up that PC rainbow colony here, clean it up, kill the Montis, and put it all back together. So I've killed all of the rainbow Monty up here. I'm just gonna leave this epoxy on the rock. Last time I took it off, it came back within a week or two. It never really died. It just bleached and then came back. So to make it permanent, I attached a couple little pieces of rock rubble and put some coral over it to kind of cap it off. So hopefully in a couple months, it'll be covered in life and you won't even be able to tell. Over time, I have another patch down here that needs to go, so that'll be another time though. So overall, my tank is doing really well. Most of the Acropora in this tank are growing very well. Many of them have better coloration than I've ever had. Even in my old tank that was gelling really nice. But there are a few issues going on. As you can see, I had Cali Tort here that had this big ugly stump coming up and was almost touching this Acropora, so I removed that yesterday. But then as I was doing that, I noticed the Mr. Pac-Man STN'd a little bit overnight. This is the day after, and it does not look like it's progressed, but the base from the rock up to like the middle of the colony is completely gone overnight. Not sure why. Acropora carduus, I think it's the same as the red dragon. They're notorious for just RTNing out of nowhere. It might have been this power head. I kind of tilted it so it would point more towards the middle of the tank, and maybe the lack of flow or change of flow kind of pissed it off. So I moved it back and hopefully it'll rebound. If not, I have pieces of it, but if it goes, then that's just the way of life, I guess. On a brighter note, these two Acropora here, these tabling acros, are literally growing into each other, and you can see a lot of these stinging cells kind of attacking. So I'm gonna move that green colony down just a hair. I have a lot of other things I want to do in this tank, but I don't have time. This stag and that blue zing bird's nest I'm going to move, and then I'm going to put this milka stylo there, up and out of the way. Because that thing is just getting way too big, and I think it would look better back there. I have a lot of these Ghanies which are getting huge. I think I have too many, so I'm gonna thin out some of them, and I might just keep these three here, which are pretty nice. Another thing I need to do is this dragon fruit Monty is absolutely amazing, but it's becoming a pest. Same with these AOIZOs. They're actually growing into each other and trying to grow of each other. And then these Acropora here are getting caught in the crossfire. I don't know what I'm gonna do here. I don't know if I'm gonna kill it off because both of the Zo and the Monty are really nice looking. So maybe I will just isolate that rock here. It's like an arch, and move some of this stuff. But then I'll have to make another structure here to support this table rock. So those are things that I don't have time to do, but eventually I want to get around to it. Other than that, like, I have had a few deaths here and there. This is all that's left of my Oregon Tort colony. just 3 little frags. I had 2 frags of this solar flare. One just died while this one is encrusting and growing really well. So I'm not really sure if I have like a bacteria issue or if there's just still some instability from the tank move. I mean, case in point, this just one day was growing like a weed and then RTN'd a little bit. This had a little bit of death on the bottom of this stump, which is why I cut it. I think that was just from shading and direct flow. I don't think torts like a lot of flow. So yeah, there's a few acros struggling, but overall, everything else is just going bananas. Like this Hello Kitty Millie, I think it's a WWC coral. In my old tank, it was peachy pink with green polyps. And since moving here, it's like amazingly fluorescent pink and the polyps turn blue. So, I mean, it's the best it's ever looked. You can see corals growing into each other here. WWC Pink Passion table. I reported in a previous video that it started to RTN from the base. I dipped it in Furan 2, and I think that was a couple months ago, but nothing has died off, and in fact, it's starting to encrust back over its old skeleton. These stags are just going crazy. I'm having to trim those every now and then. So yeah, a lot of corals are doing really well. This Microclados is just going bonkers too. You can see like some of these side branches are almost little colonies themselves. The problem with this is I think that is too high up. I can barely see it. So there's a rock here and a rock here. I'm gonna remove those. So I'll just kind of bring it down about 4 inches. That way it looks a little nicer. Everything else is looking good. Oh, I have this Frag Farmers Red Robin back there I forgot about. And then it kind of fell one day, and as I was moving it back to its spot, I realized it's a huge colony now and it's really colorful. So I might prop that up when I move that green table so you can see it a little bit better from the front of the tank. Otherwise, the tank is doing really well. So we'll see how things go. If I keep having acros, RTN, and STN randomly, I might look into one of the like oxalic acid treatment, or I might just let them do their thing and start to incorporate more softies. I have my little Pico tank here, which is doing really well. I made a video when I put this together that apparently no one watched, but that's okay. Acropora here, these tabling acros are literally growing into each other. So I'm gonna move that green colony down just a hair. So this green table colony was too heavy for the glue to hold where I wanted it to. So I had to make a game time decision and remove the yellow tips colony from this spot and glue it there. That's where I wanted it to go initially, but didn't know where to put this big colony yet. But it was the only place I could think of without stressing the coral being out of water too long. So I glued it to where I wanted it. And then now I gotta figure out where this is going to go. So the yellow tip is going to sit here until I figure out what I'm going to do with this rock. That's gonna sit with the rest of the corals that don't have a home yet. I'm hoping the yellow tips colors back up, and I think it's lighting because this piece is growing from where the yellow tips colony used to be in the old tank. And it has the perfect coloration of the yellow tips, the green base, and the purple body. So hopefully moving it down will allow that big ass colony to color back. I hope you've enjoyed this quick update. The videos are gonna come out a lot slower than they have in the past. A lot of the videos I made, I edited while I was traveling for work. So this winter I do have some more travel booked. So hopefully I can start making videos. If anyone knows, or if you make videos, you know that Filming's the easy part, and that editing probably takes 3 or 4 times longer than actually putting the videos together. So stay tuned. It might be a while, but I have a lot more stuff to do.